humping them. Only in the TV-14 era was WWE able to get away with this. Jesus. Contrary to popular belief, this was not Viscera's finisher. Speaking of which, to make
Yo, what up? It's Majay back here with another video. Today we're going to be getting into a video by Tap Out Corner. The video is going to be on top 10 worst moves to take. Oh man, one thing is in the thumbnail and oh god, it's Viscera's move where this nigga basically pounds you in the ring, nigga. Bro, Matt Hardy got the worst of it in 2007. This nigga was literally in the middle of the ring and everybody was surrounding him and he was the only one just catching back shots. Oh man, bro, let's just get into it because I'm actually pissed for that nigga, for that happening.
Worst wrestling moves of all time, starting with the Viscera.
Oh,
I love it. We're looking.
Oh, nigga.
Oh boy.
Until
bro, what made this the worst part? This nigga pulls your pants and gives you a wedgie. What type of sexual shit is this? And he, bro, oh my god, bro, nigga.
5, Viscera went from being a scary powerhouse wrestler to the world's largest loving machine. He would wrestle in his pajamas and make sexual gestures. Additionally, he introduced a new move, the Viscera. This is where Viscera would mount his opponent and start humping them. Only in the TV-14 era was WWE able to get away with this. Jesus. Contrary to popular belief, this was not Viscera's finisher. Speaking of which, to make this video more interesting, I'm not going to include any finishing moves. With that, let's move on to number 19, the Spanish Fly. Now, I do think this is a pretty cool move, but even I'll admit, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It looks like both the person taking the move and the one performing it get hurt, and oftentimes, they actually do. The issue with that is that a wrestling match is supposed to look like a real fight, so why are you doing a move that's going to hurt you just as much as your opponent?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I always thought this move was really stupid too. I think in one of those compilations, or one I reacted to recently, I think it was Shelton Benjamin. It was back in 2007, and he did a Spanish Fly with somebody, and I'm like, didn't he just flip onto you? I'm like, that shit looks stupid.
The Spanish Fly is still a cool looking move, just don't think about it too much. Number 18, the diving headbutt. The diving headbutt is already a controversial move due to the long-term damage it can have on a wrestler. However, nobody talks about just how bad of a move it is. It just doesn't seem that impactful and, quite frankly, looks kind of weak. On top of that, the diving headbutt never made sense to me. Even in kayfabe, doesn't it seem like the move should hurt the person performing it more than the person they hit?
Oh my god. Yeah, literally, on the screen, it literally just showed Daniel Bryan diving into his shoulder. I get this part.
If the wrestler performing the diving headbutt had a gimmick where their head was really hard, but that's often not the case. I will admit, there is some beauty in just seeing someone diving forward while keeping their body almost perfectly still. But beyond that, the diving headbutt has no other redeeming qualities. Number 17, the tarantula. I might be in the minority on this, but the tarantula is a very illogical move. This was a submission move mainly performed by Tajiri, where he would wrap himself around his opponent's arms and legs with the ropes in between them. And there's the problem.
Wait, wouldn't this move not make no sense since you have to get this nigga off the ropes and he can't tap anything because you're not supposed to have your opponent inside the ropes? That's like wrestling lore rule 101.
Why would you do a submission move where you need to use the ropes? The idea with a submission move is that you can keep your opponent locked in for a really long time, so they either tap out or are worn down. Why would you bother using a submission move you can only use for like 5 seconds? Early in CM Punk's WWE career, he did a move like this as well, and it was dumb for the exact same reason. Unlike the next move, it's dumb for a whole different reason, and that's number 16, old school. Now, the Undertaker has a ton of phenomenal moves: the Tombstone Piledriver, the Chokeslam, and that top rope suicide dive. However, one move in Undertaker's arsenal that he should have ditched was old school. This is where Taker would twist his opponent's arm, climb and walk on the top rope, and then jump off and hit his opponent in the back. It is impressive to see a man of Undertaker's size walking along the rope, but when you stop to think about it, it doesn't hold up logically. Why doesn't the opponent just walk away or move towards the rope and bump Taker off? I guess the idea is that the opponent is so exhausted they can't move, but then How are they able to stand? The move
Yo, that's crazy too, because literally this nigga is literally walking you like a little fucking child across the ropes, and you're literally holding his hand. Bro, it makes it all the most stupider when this nigga jumps off on you and you're literally just looking, bro, come on, man. Yeah, this move does not make no fucking type of sense. I thought it was impressive when I was a kid, and I mean, I still think it's impressive, but like when you deep dive into the move, it just doesn't make sense.
move also takes a while to set up, and the payoff isn't really worth it. And last of all, why is it called old school? Number 15, the landslide. You won't see a ton of comedy moves on this list, but that doesn't mean you won't see any. The landslide is a move performed by a Japanese wrestler named Yu. Basically, she rolls out of the ring and falls onto her opponents.
What the fuck?
Like I said, I know this move is intended to be funny, but it just, ironically, pushes it too far for me. Moves like the Cobra or even the helicopter spin are comedy moves, sure, but it doesn't look like the person taking those moves is trying to be hit. Whoever is taking the landslide basically has to break character in order for the move to be performed correctly, and that's too much for me. Number 14, the bear hug. There are two things that don't make sense with this move.
Man.
First off, why doesn't the wrestler taking the move use their arms to fight back? They're always free and able to move them, so why don't they start hitting their opponent? Okay, check that. They do eventually start fighting back, but only after they've had the life squeezed out of them for 20 to 30 seconds. I understand that a wrestling match is trying to tell a story, but the bear hug is a bit hard to make believable. Number 13, the spinning toe hold. I have this one higher on the list because it's not used as much anymore, and for good reason. If you're not familiar, the spinning toe hold is a submission move, but it doesn't really look like it. The move just never comes across like it actually hurts that much, which is the whole point of a submission move. But this isn't even the worst submission move on this list. Don't worry, we'll
Why the fuck did that guy spin in a circle twice? Like, that shit's clearly not hurting that nigga.
get to that soon. For now, number 12, the bend over. Okay, this one isn't exactly a move, but I think it's something that's bothered every wrestling fan. You know how during a match, a wrestler will whip their opponent into the ropes and then just bend down? This is always used as a way for the opponent to counter. But since a wrestling match
Bro. Oh shit. This is a classic. I'm glad he pointed this out. I would have probably never even pointed it out or thought of it, bro. But the bend over is fucking stupid. You bend over just to let this nigga either kick you or do some type of DDT move. Holy shit. I always thought this part it leave the wrestler looking so stupid, bro. And like it leaves you just like, why the hell did you just bend over and let this nigga kick you? Or do worse.
Supposed to look like a real fight, why would you do this? What's the end goal of putting yourself in this position? The logic doesn't track. Thankfully, it seems like wrestlers nowadays are doing this less and less. Number 11, the double stomp. You have to have some suspension of disbelief in order to enjoy wrestling. However, some moves make that very difficult. Take for instance, Alberto Del Rio's double stomp. It's a good move and it looks vicious. The problem is that it doesn't align with reality. Why is the opponent grabbing the ropes and holding onto them? Do they not realize that if they just let go, they'll dodge the move completely? The double stomp just makes it hard to believe the two wrestlers are actually fighting, and isn't that the goal of every wrestling match? Number 10, the Panama Sunrise. The Panama Sunrise is an
I know it's stupid, but like, that shit looks vicious. Like you get like stomped into the like mat and you hurt the back of your head. Oh god.
Cole's move, and it's basically a Canadian destroyer. However, he jumps off the ropes before hitting the move. The move itself is fine, but the jump feels completely unnecessary. I think the idea is that the jump is meant to give Cole momentum, like a trampoline, but the move doesn't happen fast enough for any momentum to build. The Panama Sunrise feels like it's trying to be different just for the sake of it. Number 9, Naomi's kicks. Since we just talked about a move belonging to one specific wrestler, let's keep that going. Earlier in her career, Naomi would attack her opponent with a flurry of kicks. Cool idea. The only problem is that they looked like garbage. It never felt like any of the kicks were actually hitting her opponent, which made it even sillier when the wrestler taking the move just stood there and sold it. Thankfully, Naomi started using this move less and less, which I wish you could say for the moves we're about to see next.
I mean, the Insiguri at the end was pretty cool, but yeah, the flurry kicks was not it. I used to always wonder why she used to do that. It did not look it didn't look effective. It was just like one of those moves. It just popped in the ring, I guess.
Number 8, the slingshot. Also known as the slingshot catapult, this transition move really pushes the suspension of disbelief. More often than not, it looks like the wrestler.
Oh yeah, this is when Cesaro hurt. I think he hurt his teeth. I think the teeth were like pushed in. He said he hit his head on the not the turnbuckle, the ring post. Holy shit! Oh my god, I remember that moment.
Taking the move is launching themselves into the turnbuckle. I do not use this word lightly, but the slingshot looks fake to me. And again, a wrestling match is supposed to look like a real fight. And I ain't done saying that, because there are a few moves coming up that are even bigger offenders of this. For now, let's look at number 7, this. I don't even think this move got a name, but for a while, Eric Rowan had this odd-looking submission move in his arsenal. I guess the idea was that Rowan was supposed to be driving his 2 fists into the side of his opponent's head, but it just looked like he was giving them a really mean-looking noogie. People gave the Great Khali crap for his head-squeezing move, but that looks 10 times more vicious than what Rowan was doing. Number
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Look, I always bring this moment up, but like it looked way vicious than that shit. Like at least Great Khali had that little moment where the move was actually taken serious when he was squeezing the shit out of Rey Mysterio's head, quote unquote, and the blood was dripping.
6, machine gun chops. A chop is a really awesome looking move and one of my favorites to watch. However, someone thought it'd be a good idea, instead of giving just one chop, why not give a ton? In theory, this is a good idea, but in practice, it's actually really lame. When you're giving multiple chops, you can't wind your arm back, and therefore, you don't get that loud smacking sound. Instead, it sounds like the wrestler is just tapping their opponent's chest.
Eddie here. Oh, listen to those chops, machine guns.
This is a perfect example
That
of
shit
why
sounds
sometimes
crazy.
less is more. Number 5, the Tower of Doom. I might get some flack for this, but I have a good reason for why I'm putting this move on the list. I've said it a few times in this video that some moves look staged, and the Tower of Doom is the epitome of that. The wrestlers involved in the move just have to hold their spot and wait for everyone to get into position, and since the Tower of Doom is so elaborate, it usually takes a while. I can kind of understand why the wrestler at the bottom waits, they aren't really getting hurt, but why does everyone else? It is a cool move, and I can understand why people like seeing it, but to me, the Tower of Doom always makes me think I'm watching a stunt show instead of a wrestling match. Number 4, using weapons incorrectly.
Bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that move is used way too much. Like, it's cool as a pop move because everybody in the audience be so fucking amazed by that shit, especially casuals. But at the same time, nigga, all that, just to take everybody out, I feel like it's just a move to take everybody out, basically, and have them, like, at an equal standpoint. But, like, it just looks so stupid.
I know this one isn't technically a move, but it's something that's always bugged me. Triple H's sledgehammer is the prime example. If you were really in a fight and could use a sledgehammer, why would you be covering the top of it with your hand? I know the real reason is that Triple H uses an actual sledgehammer and doesn't want to legitimately hurt his opponent, but it feels unrealistic. However, my favorite, and therefore the dumbest use of a weapon in WWE history, has to be at TLC 2010. At the show, John Cena was facing Wade Barrett in a chairs match. After Cena won, he took Barrett over to the stage, set a table on top of him, and then had a ton of chairs fall on top of Barrett. Again, I get why they had to do it this way, but in kayfabe, how is that supposed to hurt Barrett?
I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I thought this was like the most coolest thing ever, bro. I didn't really see what the fuck happened, bro, or got what the fuck happened. I thought he was just hurt, basically. And I thought, because I hated Wade Barrett at the time. But, like, this shit did not look legit when I'm taking a look at it now, bro. All the chairs flying down on this nigga. I mean, it had to have at least look some sort of legit. And it had to protect Wade Barrett because logically, you don't want to be dropping that many chairs on like a human being.
The clattering of chairs hurting his ears or something? Number 3, any move that requires a group of people to catch someone. You know what I'm talking about. You'll have a bunch of wrestlers, typically on the outside of the ring, all fighting, when another one literally crashes in. Don't get me wrong, it is awesome. but it makes no sense. The wrestlers on the floor can always see the move coming, yet they just stand there and wait to take it. In some cases, they are actually watching the wrestler getting ready to jump on them. Like I've said, I understand why wrestlers do this, but as I've also said, this is supposed to be a real fight. That's really hard to do when a bunch of wrestlers are just standing around.
And especially sometimes they don't get caught, bro. They do not fucking get caught, bro. Some wrestlers literally dive to the fucking floor and it makes it end up looking more like so awkward, bro. Like you just flipped onto the damn floor practically. They didn't even catch you.
Waiting to get hit. Number 2, Lash Legends Rope Smack. Now is a good time to say that just because something is unique doesn't mean it's good. Lash Legend's rope smacking move is the perfect example of this. She puts her opponent on her back and smacks their head between the ropes. I don't know if I have to say anything, just look at it. I know the ring ropes can hurt and cause injury, but I can't believe that lightly bumping your head on them is gonna do much, if any, damage. What I really want to know is who came up with this move and who told Lash Legend, yeah, keep on doing that. Alright.
She's gonna have to stop using this move. I like Lash Legend, but she's gonna have to stop using this move. This move looks ridiculous.
Alright, here we are. The worst wrestling move of all time is Quincy Elliott's man boobs.
What?
You may not know who Quincy Elliott is. He was a wrestler on NXT from 2022 to 2023 and is regarded as one of the worst wrestlers of all time. That might seem harsh, but when you see this move, you'll understand why.
Before. I actually have, but it's...
That was bad. But it's not as bad as the worst finishing moves.
Oh,
to see those,
God. Hey, bro. It was funny as fuck at that nigga throwing that nigga off. But, yeah, I think number 1 was worthy of being the worst wrestling move ever. Holy fuck. You smacking niggas with your man titties? Jesus. All right, that took the K right there. Yeah, he was right. This move was I mean, this whole list was like the worst moves ever, my nigga. But hey, man, hey, Jesus Christ. Well, I hope Lash Legends gets a new whole like thing and stop using that move because it's bad, bro. I'm sorry. But hey, if you guys like that video, go like and subscribe. And like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. We're on the road to 450. See you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?